Everyone, this is Steve with Real Estate Cookies, and today we're going to be talking about contracts. Now, next week we're going to have a webinar training that's live on contracts, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a snippet and preview of what we're going to be talking about. And when we go to invest in real estate, oftentimes contracts is what trips a lot of individuals up. I have helped different investors analyze properties, look at properties, work with financing, get all the way there, and then when it comes right in the contract, everything breaks down because they're just scared of the contract. And I want to just give a few ideas about contracts that'll change your mindset and hopefully interest you to come to the webinar next week and learn more details about it. The first thing about a contract you need to understand is a contract is just an invitation to dance. That's the way to think about it. All right. It's not at the end of the process, it's at the beginning of the process. All right. What we're doing when we write a contract with someone, we're making an offer. All right. We don't have all the details figured out necessarily, but we're making an offer saying, hey, I'm interested. Are you interested? Do you want to dance? And what that means is that here's my initial offer. They're going to say, no, I don't like that. Well, here's a term. I don't like that. You're going back and forth and coming up with the solution of a contract you can both agree to. But the opposite way a lot of people think about it is they want to get all their details in line first before they make the offer. And a big piece of that is if there's any kind of rehab to the property. And I'll just give an example. If you have a single family home that's in need of repair and you find this house and you think, I think I'd like to buy this and rehab it and make it, nice so I could resell it or lease it to somebody, you're going to look at that and you're going to think, well, what do I offer? Well, first thing I got to know is how much it's going to cost to fix it up. And so there's a great difference between the detailed analysis and kind of back of an envelope analysis. So if I look at this property and I think it's nice and I call in an inspector and then I call in my contractor and then I get a floor quote and I get a roof quote and I get a window quote and I get a kitchen quote and I have to painting quote and a landscaping quote and a plumbing quote and electrical quote. I got to get all this stuff in there. How much time am I dealing with? And by that time, you get all those details in and you sharpen your pencil and you think, okay, my rehab is right at $53,256.23. So that means I have to offer this on the property. By the time you get all that analysis done, if the property was a good deal, it's already gone. It's already gone. And how many times do you think your contractor is going to come do a quote for you of that detail on properties you don't have under contract yet? May do it once, maybe twice, but they're not going to keep coming. And so that struggle of like, I have to get all the information perfect before I make my offer slows you down and limits your ability to put properties under contract. And the big concept I want to get across here, and we'll go into more detail in the webinar, is that when you look at a contract as an invitation to dance, what you're saying is that, okay, I like the house. I believe the house will, if I get it fixed up, will sell at this number. And I'm going to do a rough estimate. Roof, $5,000. Kitchen, $5,000. Paint, $3,000. Plumbing, this. And I list it out. And I get a number. And maybe my number is, my back of the envelope number is $60,000 or $65,000. Or maybe it's $45,000. I'm within a $10,000 range. All right. Well, that's the power of a contract because now I'm like, okay, I think I'll bump it up a little bit. My rehab's probably around $65,000. Then I work backwards and I write my contract with what I think I can offer at. Now, typically when we write offers as investors, we're the seller is asking this, we're asking this, and we're hoping we can kind of meet somewhere in the middle. Well, if you're writing an offer and the investor just says, I mean, the owner just says, no, I'm not doing that. That doesn't come down at all. It only has a little bit of room. Maybe you find out, maybe they're asking 300,000 for the property and they owe 295 and you're trying to write an offer way low. Well, it's just not going to work. Well, you don't get that information until you make an offer. So if you try to get all your details ahead of time, you wear out your contractors and your subs, your realtor, and yourself, and then you make an offer on a property that you're not anywhere in the ballpark of because of the seller doesn't have room to move to your price. you're wasting a lot of time. So what you want to be able to do is write the offer to initiate all the conversation so that then you can come back in later and renegotiate or sharpen your pencil, so to speak, on all your rehab costs. Because in our contracts, we have things called contingencies, inspection contingency, financing contingency, which allows you to sharpen your pencil and find things you didn't really understand before that were present in the property that you need to fix. The rehab budget may come in higher than you expected. It may come in lower than you expected. You're within a margin. That's okay. You can renegotiate it after you're under contract, because you got to remember there's a whole psychology with contracts. Because once a property is under contract, the psychology of the seller changes. Hey, I got the property under contract. I have someone interested. They don't want to go back not under contract and start all over again. It's way easier to get concessions after you're under contract than before. And so you use that seller's psychology to your advantage when you're writing contracts, so that you don't get in a situation where you're doing tons of work up front only to have the property slip away from you and you've wasted all your time. So that's the psychology in this that we want to talk about. Now, next week at our webinar, it's live and it's free. You're welcome to come. Just message me and I'll get you on the list. We're going to go into all the different parts of the contract, how to make the offer, how to have contingencies that protect you, how to estimate these things, how to work backwards, what to say in the contract, what to put into it. We're going to go through all those details. And details are great, but mindset is the winner. And if your mindset is correct, you can find more deals. So many investors have lost deals because they didn't move quick enough. They wanted to get all their details first before they made the offer. By that time, a savvy investor came in, offered a price, got it under contract, then negotiated afterwards. So flip the process on its head and you'll be better off. Join us next week. Thanks.